You've been told to chase money. You've been told it's the answer. That if you have more, you'll finally be enough, respected, safe, happy. But no one told you the truth. Wealth isn't money. It's energy. It's alignment. It's the reflection of who you've become when you stopped lying to yourself. You see, money is a mirror. It doesn't make you powerful. It only amplifies who you already are. Give it to a fool, and it becomes chaos. Give it to the wise, and it becomes creation. Money itself is neutral. It's the hands that hold it that decide its story. We've built a world obsessed with the symbol and blind to the substance. We glorify luxury, but ignore mastery. We chase status, but forget peace. And when we finally touch success, it feels hollow, like a ghost of the dream we once believed would save us. That emptiness you feel after the win, that's not failure. That's your soul whispering, "This wasn't it." You don't crave money. You crave freedom. You crave proof that your life meant something. But here's the truth most people never learn. Freedom isn't found in escape. It's found in ownership. Owning your mind, your habits, your time, your emotions. That's real wealth. The world will tell you that success is about how much you have. But true wealth begins the moment you realize how little you need to be unshakably at peace. The real game isn't about collecting. It's about aligning. When you align your purpose with your actions, when your vision matches your integrity, the world starts to bend around you. Not because it owes you anything, but because you've finally become someone who commands reality instead of begging from it. Wealth is not a chase. It's a calibration. It's a frequency you rise into, not a treasure you dig for. When you operate from fear, scarcity, or comparison, everything you touch becomes heavier. But when you operate from purpose, from service, from conviction, even your smallest moves begin to multiply. Most people never rise because they think they're chasing success. But in truth, they're running from insignificance. They work hard, not to create, but to prove. They buy things, not to express, but to hide. And in the silence of the night, when the world stops applauding, they meet the one person they've been running from, themselves. You see, wealth isn't a number. It's a conversation between you and the universe. It's not about taking, it's about becoming. Every dollar you earn honestly, every opportunity you create, every problem you solve, it's the universe whispering, "You've grown." Wealth is feedback. It's the world mirroring back your value, your discipline, your patience, your courage. But we've been conditioned to think money is evil, that spiritual people must be poor, that the pursuit of wealth corrupts the soul. And yet, look closely, poverty has crushed more dreams than greed ever did. It's not money that makes people selfish. It's fear of losing it. It's not ambition that kills peace. It's the emptiness of pursuing it without purpose. You can be both spiritual and rich. You can love people and love progress. You can pray with your heart and still build empires with your hands. The universe doesn't reward guilt, it rewards growth. And if your vision lifts others, if your wealth flows through integrity, then your success becomes sacred. Wealth built without meaning is just noise. But wealth built with alignment becomes music. It moves people. It heals. It inspires. The true purpose of money isn't possession. It's expansion. The more you have, the more you can build, share, and shape the world around you. But before wealth becomes external, it must first become internal. You cannot manifest abundance from a mind poisoned by scarcity. You cannot attract prosperity while secretly despising those who have it. You cannot rise while clinging to the identity of a victim. To create real wealth, you must first cleanse your relationship with it. Ask yourself, what do I really believe about money? Do I see it as evil, as struggle, as survival? Or do I see it as energy, as gratitude, as possibility? Because the universe only gives you what you are emotionally ready to hold. If you resent wealth, you'll repel it. If you fear losing it, you'll strangle it. But if you respect it, truly respect it, it will flow through your life like air through open hands. You were never meant to hoard. You were meant to circulate. Money moves to those who move it with purpose. Every wealthy soul I've met shares one thing in common. They see wealth as stewardship, not ownership. They don't make money, they multiply value. They understand that abundance isn't about getting more, It's about becoming more. They see wealth not as a throne to sit on, but as a bridge to build with. But you can't think like a king while living like a slave to your impulses. You can't hold abundance while spending every ounce of energy trying to look abundant. The fake luxury you post online will never feel like the inner calm that comes from true freedom. You can't buy peace with pretension. You have to earn it with discipline. Wealth begins when excuses end. When you stop blaming the system, the government, your parents, your boss, and start owning the one thing no one can take from you: your choices. That's where the real transformation begins. Every action you take from self-responsibility becomes a seed. Every moment you waste in resentment becomes a weed. And over time, you either grow a garden or choke in the wilderness of your own denial. The poor mindset says, someone should save me. The wealthy mindset says, no one's coming. I'll save myself. And that shift, that one mental pivot, is what separates the average from the unstoppable. But remember this: wealth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by architecture. The architect of your life is built through habits, rituals, and the invisible conversations you have with yourself when no one's watching. When you choose to wake early, when you choose to study when others scroll, when you choose discipline over dopamine, that's when the foundations are laid. The world is drowning in distraction. People chase quick profits, viral fame, empty validation. But the few, the truly wealthy, they chase mastery. They play the long game. They build silently. They bleed patiently, because they know time is the most powerful currency there is. Every day you waste doubting yourself, someone else is building the life you're afraid to start. Every moment you hesitate, your potential shrinks a little more under the weight of your own comfort. You don't need motivation. You need movement. Motivation fades. Discipline compounds. The moment you stop negotiating with your comfort zone is the moment your wealth journey truly begins. Because wealth isn't luck. It's leverage. It's turning every failure into data, every setback into fuel, every loss into wisdom. The richest people aren't the smartest. They're the most adaptable. They don't cry over what didn't work. They evolve until it does. And that's what makes them dangerous in a world addicted to mediocrity. Wealth is a war, not against others, but against your weaker self. Every time you hit snooze, every time you spend without thought, every time you settle, that's the enemy winning. And the only way to win this war is through consistency. You don't need massive action once. You need small, aligned action daily. You don't need miracles. You need momentum. Momentum is what turns ordinary humans into forces of nature. And when your momentum is backed by meaning, when your pursuit of wealth isn't just for ego but for evolution, the universe bends in your favor. Opportunities start appearing. Synchronicities unfold. People begin to notice. Not because you're lucky, but because you've aligned your frequency with creation itself. The secret is simple. Become the person wealth belongs to. Don't chase money. Build the character that attracts it naturally. Because wealth doesn't come to the desperate. It comes to the prepared. It comes to those who have built the inner container strong enough to hold it without collapsing. And that inner container is built on truth, integrity, focus, grit, patience. When you align these, you don't just create wealth. You become wealth. Your energy, your presence, your decisions, all radiate abundance. You stop begging for opportunities and start creating them. That's when life begins to shift. Doors that once seemed locked begin to open. People who ignored you start to respect you. Not because you changed externally, but because you finally tuned into your power. You see, the world doesn't give you what you ask for. It gives you what you are. If you're chaotic, your finances will be chaotic. If you're grounded, your wealth will be stable. If you're disciplined, your abundance will multiply. The external follows the internal, always. So if you want to change your financial reality, stop looking outward. Stop waiting for luck, for trends, for shortcuts. The real shift begins in silence. When you finally confront the patterns inside you that keep you small. Every limitation you see in your bank account first existed in your belief system. You cannot outperform the story you secretly believe about yourself. If you believe wealth is for them and not for you, the universe will agree. If you believe you must suffer to earn, life will give you endless struggle. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that wealth is your natural state of being, that it's simply energy flowing through you for the highest good, everything starts to change. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because belief isn't magic, it's direction. When you believe you are worthy of wealth, you start to act like someone who is. You walk differently. You speak differently. You stop chasing opportunities and start creating them. You stop waiting for permission and start writing your own script. And soon, the world starts reflecting that energy back to you. Not because it suddenly changed, but because you did. You stopped vibrating on the frequency of lack. You stopped making decisions from fear. You started aligning every move with purpose. And purpose, my friend, is magnetic. There's a reason purpose-driven people seem unstoppable, because they are. They don't move for applause. They don't slow down for doubt. They understand that their mission is bigger than their moods. And once you find your mission, truly find it, wealth becomes a side effect. Because purpose is the ultimate currency. It pays in peace. It pays in clarity. It pays in longevity. The world may crash around you. Markets may fall. Trends may die. But a man or woman with purpose can rebuild from ashes. Because their wealth was never just in their wallet. It was in their will. And this is what most people miss. Wealth is spiritual training disguised as economics. It tests your patience, your faith, your humility, your hunger. It asks, can you stay disciplined when no one's watching? Can you still believe when nothing seems to work? Can you hold your vision when fear screams louder than faith? Because that's the path every master walks before abundance becomes effortless. You cannot shortcut that process. You must become the person who can handle abundance before you receive it. Otherwise, it will destroy you. How many people win big, rise fast, and collapse just as quickly? Not because they were cursed, but because they skipped the inner work. They built wealth on a weak foundation. They built empires on unhealed wounds. They built brands to hide their pain instead of expressing their truth. But you're here to do it differently. You're not here just to make money. You're here to master meaning. You're not here to collect things. You're here to collect wisdom. You're not here to impress others. You're here to express the full power of who you can become. And that means your wealth must serve your evolution, not your ego. Because ego will always want more. But the soul wants alignment. It wants peace, contribution, growth. When you build from that space, your wealth becomes unstoppable because it's not competing, it's creating. True wealth whispers. It doesn't need to prove. It doesn't need to shout. It radiates through presence, through calm confidence, through quiet power. That's why the wealthiest souls aren't the loudest in the room. They're the ones who no longer need to perform. They don't crave validation because they already know who they are. And when you know who you are, no amount of money can inflate you, and no loss can deflate you. That's freedom. That's sovereignty. Wealth without inner peace is poverty in disguise. And peace without direction is stagnation in disguise. But when peace meets purpose, when your mind is still and your mission is clear, that's when you become unstoppable. You move differently. You negotiate differently. You see opportunities no one else sees, because you're not distracted by noise. You're tuned into signal. You stop trying to get ahead and start building a world worth leading in. You start realizing that every transaction, every connection, every idea you touch carries energy, and that energy ripples. You become intentional with your words, your time, your money. You stop consuming like a beggar and start investing like a creator. Because creators don't chase trends, they birth them. They don't ask, what's popular? They ask, what's possible? They understand that wealth isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out through authenticity. And authenticity is the most profitable currency on earth. Every great fortune was built by someone who dared to think differently, to see value where others saw none. That's how new worlds are built. That's how civilizations evolve. That's how one soul with a vision changes everything. So, if you're listening to this right now, understand. You are not small. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to begin. The universe does not reward the perfect plan. It rewards movement. Even the smallest act done in faith outweighs 1,000 intentions trapped in fear. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Because momentum doesn't come from clarity. Clarity comes from momentum. Stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. No one ever does. They just start. Scared, unprepared, uncertain. And through that movement, they find their power. And once you taste that power, the power of self-belief, of discipline, of consistency, money becomes the easy part. The hard part was never making wealth. It was believing you deserved it. The hard part was breaking generations of scarcity and replacing them with one radical idea, that you are capable of more. So rise. Rise for the version of you who stayed silent. Rise for the version who settled. Rise for the child who dreamed before the world told them it was unrealistic. Rise because wealth isn't about status, it's about service. Every time you rise, you show others it's possible. Every time you win with integrity, you expand what wealth means for humanity. Because that's what sacred wealth really is, evolution through example. It's when your abundance becomes a lighthouse. It's when your success inspires others to believe, to build, to become. It's when your presence liberates others from their own fear. That's the new paradigm of wealth. Not greed, not excess, not ego, but contribution, courage, and consciousness. A new breed of creators, builders, and leaders who understand that wealth isn't about what you own. It's about what you awaken. You awaken possibilities in others. You awaken dormant dreams. You awaken a higher standard of what it means to live fully. And that, my friend, is legacy. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you live right now. It's the vibration you carry, the energy you give, the example you set. When your name becomes synonymous with growth, integrity, and impact, that's wealth. When your presence makes people stand taller, that's wealth. When your children inherit courage, not just comfort, that's wealth. And it all begins with one decision: to treat your life like the sacred opportunity it is. To treat your work like prayer. To treat your wealth like a tool for expansion, not validation. To look at every dollar as a seed, one that can either rot in greed or grow into greatness. Your future is not written in your bank balance. It's written in your habits, in your attitude, in your willingness to go all in when everyone else is holding back. It's written in the moments no one sees, when you study instead of scroll, build instead of boast, focus instead of flee. Every small act of self-mastery compounds. Every moment of alignment builds momentum. And momentum, once built, becomes unstoppable. Because when you live in alignment with truth, the universe conspires with you. Wealth will follow. People will follow. Impact will follow. Because the energy you emit becomes undeniable. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer survive, you expand. You no longer hope, you know. And in that knowing, fear dissolves. Scarcity dissolves. Doubt dissolves. Because you finally understand, you were never chasing money, you were chasing yourself. The highest, clearest, most powerful version of you. And when you meet that version, when you finally become the person capable of holding abundance without losing your soul, you'll realize the game was never about wealth. It was about awakening. About remembering who you are beneath the noise. About realizing that you were always the treasure. So stop searching outward for permission. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Start now. Invest in your growth. Protect your energy. Sharpen your craft. Expand your capacity. And when the world asks, who are you to dream that big? Smile, because you finally know the answer. You are wealth in motion. You are purpose embodied. You are divine potential remembering its power. And that power, when expressed fully, can change the entire course of humanity. So build, rise, lead, give, and never forget, wealth is sacred when it flows through clean hands, clear hearts, and courageous minds. Let yours be one of them. Because someday, someone will look at your life and whisper, they showed me what's possible. And that moment, will be worth more than all the gold in the world.